Morning, everybody. It's the Fatbaldguy on video number 2. I just want to talk to you a little bit about the Churchill card and who I like on Saturday, and then we'll get into some Derby talk again. The early Churchill card is just awful. I mean, 5-horse fields, 6-horse fields. I'm not thrilled with it. It's hard to make money. I'm not sure, where you can even make any money. So what I'm going to do is just wait for the late pick 4, where I think you can make some money. And here's my plan in the late pick 4. I like Maserati the best. The first-time starter, North Tip, has a huge chance. Chitin, I think it's pronounced, and also the 6. So I'm going to start the first leg with the 2, the 5, the 6, and the 9. Of course, this is before scratches here. We won't know the scratches till probably the afternoon. The next leg is where I'm going to single. I always have to have a single if I'm going to play a big pick 4 and try to drill this pick 4. I think Horned Frog's going to win. We'll just leave it at that. I think he's gone. I think he'll win. And then we get to the Derby trial. I think Baffert's horse is a terrible favorite. He may win, but a maiden that's got to go 44, 45 and hold off all the closers going a 1-turn mile at Churchill in the Derby trial just doesn't happen. I mean, he may win, he may be a monster, and we may be all sitting here shaking our head as he moves on to the Preakness or something, but I just don't see it. I think he's going to be a terrible favorite. It's somewhere around 5-2, 2-1. Now, the other horse of Pletcher's, 40 Tails, I think has a huge chance. I think he's the class of the field. I think he sits about 5th. I think he rolls by at the head of the lane, opens up, and wins easy. If he does not win easy, I'm going to back it up with Rubles. And then I'm also going to use Capo Bastoni because he may come from the clouds at a good price. And then I'll probably even throw in the Lucas horse on the outside, Titletown 5, even though I don't like him. I'm trying to make sure I have this because I've got my single. I don't want to blow it. I think if we use those 4, I think we're going to have it. So I think I'll just go ahead and use those 4. And then in the last race, I'm going to have at least a couple tickets with all to make sure we got it, a couple 50-cent tickets here and there, and then I'll cut it down for my extra tickets to the 2, the 4, the 6, and the 11. I'm not thrilled with the 11. I think JoJo's Revenge, the 2, has a gigantic shot. If he makes the lead, or if the 6 makes the lead, if one of them make an easy lead, I think you'd be awful dangerous at night because the turf's going to have a little dew on it, a little wet. I think the turf is a little goofy at night sometimes, so we'll go ahead and we'll use the 2, 4, 6, and 11 in the extra tickets. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about the Derby. I got a lot of feedback yesterday, which was great. That means people watched it. A lot of people saying, I can't believe you don't like Orb. Let me say, I want to like Orb, but I'm a numbers guy. Rosario, Shug McGahee, obviously he's a closer. Obviously he's getting better. The numbers are probably going to move forward. But I look at the history of the Kentucky Derby. I look at the history of the numbers that have won the Kentucky Derby. I look at how much a horse improves from his last race to the Kentucky Derby. And then I try to figure out what I think the Derby's going to go in, Beyer-wise, Brisnet-wise, even Thoroughgraph-wise or Rags-wise. What's the race going to go in? Now, I think that this Kentucky Derby, there's too many fast horses. The Derby has to go to a Beyer number somewhere around a 107, 108, 109. It's going to run somewhere in there, barring some kind of opening of the clouds and it rains like crazy and messes it all up. But if it's a dry track, I really believe the Kentucky Derby, you're going to have to run about a 107 to 109 to win. Well, so let's look at the horses. Can Orb really improve 10 points? Well, 10 points is about 8 to 10 lengths. I mean, that's a lot. That's a lot of improvement for a horse that's got a lot of seasoning, got a lot of foundation to him. I'm not sure he can do that. Now, if he was 15-1, wouldn't bother me. I just throw him on the ticket, wouldn't care. But at 4.5, 5-1, it's your call. I'll have him on a couple pick 4 tickets because the Woodford Reserve's looking like it might be Point of Entry versus Wise Dan and Little Mike. And if it comes down to those 3 all enter, you don't have to spread out in the Woodford Reserve. I don't think you need Little Mike, but Little Mike's already beat me a couple times, so I'll probably throw him in on a couple tickets. But if Point of Entry and Wise Dan are running, it really helps pick four players, because all you got to do is take them both and you cannot lose the race. So that allows you to spread more in the Derby. So let's look at spreading in the Derby. Okay, so once we get past the Orb, we talked about those horses yesterday. You know, the rumor with Verrazano, I don't believe. I don't think there's anything wrong with him. If we find out in the next couple of days that there is something wrong with him, then we'll worry about it then. But I just don't believe it. It's my lucky day. You know, he's fast enough. He's going to be on my ticket for sure at about 12-1. A lot of people are trying to talk me into Golden Sense. He will not be on my tickets. I can promise you that. If he wins, he's going to beat me, unfortunately, because you can't take them all. Now, who do we want to try to bring a wheelbarrow with to the racetrack, collect, everybody laughing, the wheelbarrow, the Mind That Bird, the Animal Kingdom that nobody really had in the pick four, that just makes the pick four gigantic, you know, at 20, 30, 40-1. Who can really win that's going to be that price? Unfortunately, this year, history will tell you when there are 5, 6 horses that got 95s, 99s, 102s, 104s, 105s. History tells you that's not going to happen. So I'm telling people that don't try to cash a pick 4 or a pick 5 with a 50-1 shot or 40-1 shot. The Mind That Bird, the Giacomo, is not going to happen this year. Giacomo, he crushed me. I needed a Fleet Alex or Bellamy Road for about $30,000 to $35,000 in the pick 4 that day, but there was only 2 of them that had the number of the 20 horses. So when Bellamy Road got hurt on the backside and a Fleet Alex got a blindfold ride, it opened it up to a slow horse to win the Derby, and the Derby only went in the 100 buyer number that year. Mind That Bird's year is the only other exception to the numbers rule, and Mind That Bird was on a muddy track with the master Calvin Burrell, with the perfect ride of all time. And again, it was against a bad group of horses. The Derby only went in 105 that year. That's when California was introducing Polytrack, and all the horses they sent here were Polytrack horses. They weren't dirt horses. You know, now that they're back to dirt, they're sending dirt horses. You know, I'll have another Bodie Meister. Those horses are speed, dirt. You know, they're real dirt horses. They're not poly horses. So I don't think a Mind That Bird can happen this year. There's just too many fast horses. So who can win besides the main competitors? I think My Loot's got a chance. You know, the My Loot race in the Louisiana Derby is one of the most controversial Beyer Briz competition numbers I've ever seen in 10, 12 years. The Beyer number is 93, 94, 95, right in that area, which is a very slow, graded stake race for the preps to the Derby, where Briz had it over 100, 104s, 105s. That's a huge difference, and usually those two outfits are good, and they're really close, and they don't disagree often. So who's right? I don't know. But if My Loot is 20-1, 25-1, I think he's worth a 50-cent pick 4 ticket, or at least back him up in a pick 3 ticket. You can spread out in the race 2 before. You can take just Point of Entry or Wise Dan, and then make a 50-cent or $1 ticket with My Loot. If he wins, the pick 3 is going to pay $500, $600, $700. You don't have to have it too many times. So go ahead and throw him on at least a pick 3 ticket. Frack Daddy probably can't win, but he can be 3rd or 4th. But he's worth a 50-cent ticket, I guess. But don't waste a lot of money on him. Some of these others, the horses from the Arkansas Derby, I keep hearing people talk about the Lucas horses. There's no way they're winning. If they win, I'll be shocked. The one horse that will take charge is off way too long of a layoff. The other horse, Oxbow, is just not good enough. There's no way he's going to win. Don't waste your money on those horses. Now, overanalyze. You can definitely put him in your ticket. He's going to get the 1.25 miles. He's going to be 20-1. Can he win? He's too slow on numbers, but if he wins and you got a 50-cent pick 3 or $1 pick 3 or a 50-cent pick 4 with him, don't make $4 and $5 ones with him. You're wasting money, but you're allowed to put him on a 50-cent ticket. I'll have a few of those. But on the main tickets right now, until the post position draw, and of course once the post position draw comes out, we're going to go through with the picks for the people that have bought the package with GradedStakesRacing.com, GradedStakes.com, www.gradedstakes.com. click on Kentucky Derby Picks. It's not that expensive. We are going to go through horse by horse. I'm going to send a video out to the people. I'm going to have email and cell phone calls. I've already talked to a couple of you on cell phone. Once the post position draw comes out, we are going to have strategies for you. If you want us to, or if you just want my picks, that's up to you. But if you want a strategy and you want to sit down on Wednesday, Thursday, go over a strategy of, okay, here's my budget. My budget's $200. My budget's $300. My budget's $50. Dan, what should I do? I'm going to sit there with you and tell you what to do. Now, if you want to add a horse or subtract a horse, that's perfectly fine. You're supposed to use my picks as a guide. It's not the end all be all. We did hit several pick fours over the last few years, and hopefully we hit them again. The Street Sense pick four, I needed a police escort out of the Derby that day. I was scared to go to the parking lot. We hit it so many times. We had the Animal Kingdom trifecta. We bet straight on Animal Kingdom, but we blew the pick four because I wouldn't use the speed horse on the grass that won that day, so I blew the pick four. But, it happens to everybody. You just got to do what you got to do. But the thing is, they've got the trifectas, they got the superfectas, they got the exactas. Whatever you like to play, you let me know, and we'll take care of it for you. We'll talk to you about it. So, anyway, good luck today. Hopefully you can be patient today and wait for the pick four. If you really got to play a race early in the day, I think Flat Out will probably win up at Belmont today. You'll probably get about 4-1. I don't love him, but the 1 turn mile, he's never been beaten at Belmont. I think he'll probably win. All right, good luck today, and I'll talk to you on Tuesday.